What's going on, everyone? Dalt here with Lee C Parts in the Scrap Life Garage. Welcome back to the channel. We have been away for a couple weeks now. We had a busy holiday season with the family, and we had a couple guys around the shop get sick. So we've been running around like chickens with our head cut off, trying to get all the parts out the door. We appreciate all the orders from everybody. Now we're going to be jumping back into a couple videos, and first thing up is this very, very interesting ZL1 Camaro. What this is potentially a Berger Camaro.
Berger is a Chevrolet dealer that is out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. They are directly linked back in the late 60s when they did the Copo Camaros. Berger is the pipeline of Copo. They did a very limited run of Camaros that were special in the fact of they were all SS Camaros that got superchargers on them. Three-piece Forge line wheel, the exact same wheel. They got the GM Performance rear wing that you see on the back, which is the three-piece duckbill setup.
So the confusing part about this car is, like Alex just said, they never did ZL1s. So this car has a lot of the right stuff on it. It has the sticker, it has the wing, it has the wheels. And what is also curious is it has a signature on the shock tower, which is what those cars had also. The people that were involved in it would sign the shock tower. This one only has one, and this name here is apparently the tuner. So that is all kind of very interesting, but what is kind of leading us to be extremely suspect on it is that we were able to contact the dealership because they're also all numbered. And we gave them this number, and what they told us was,
there is no record of any 2013 being done. The signature on the strut tower that he showed you is the tuner named Ty Mason. He signed all the cars that he tuned. I looked at a couple others that were built. They all had his signature. But most of them had more signatures.
Yeah, most of them had signatures over on the driver shock tower as well. And this car was an interesting one at auction because it does not have the ZL1 hood. And that one was kind of curious from the start. And this was an IAA car, so we were able to hear it run and everything. So we didn't really have a whole lot of reservations about buying it. But until we got it here, we didn't realize that it was that different from... We thought it was just a normal green respray to the same OEM color that the normal SSs are. And it wasn't until we really started diving into it that we realized that this thing has some very, very interesting stuff going on. The fact that they don't have a record of the car is kind of leading us to believe that somebody that was detail-oriented enough and wanted to make kind of a reproduction of it really went to great lengths to duplicate a lot of what they had done on the actual ones that were done at Berger. So it's very interesting because this is not something that I think that you would just do kind of, you know, on a whim. Like, you really have to know what you were doing in order to kind of make it a relatively accurate reproduction, which is what this one is, because it has signatures and a sticker and it's the right color car. This car was, the ZL1s were never offered in this color, right?
No.
Yeah, so the car's been repainted. It has a nice repaint on it.
That's very nice repaint. I mean, the stripes are all painted under it, like everything's nice and smooth. They did a good job. And another thing that a lot of the Berger cars had, which is a kind of a telltale of them, is they had the flat black under the headlights, and then also is on the rear bumper around the taillight area, is kind of like a signature piece that all the Berger cars have. All the Berger cars had a Berger exhaust system on them. So we'll see when we get this one off if it is in fact a Berger exhaust.
Okay.
That'll tell us a little bit more.
Because it is a modified exhaust. You can tell that the pipes are not the factory rear pipes even without getting under it. And it also does have some headers up front here that we had seen. And this car is modded also. It has full exhaust. It has intake, an air raid intake. It also has a lower pulley with some idlers down there also. So it is not a factory car. Was there anything that you found about the interiors? Because the interior is already a part on this car.
The interiors were mostly factory. The only thing that that some of the cars had is they had a dash plaque that was over here on the passenger side. That sat right on this painted piece.
Okay.
That had a serial number on it. This car obviously didn't have one of those. Kendall at Berger Chevrolet was kind of very intrigued as I was. When I told him it was a ZL1, he kind of was like, wait, what? It's a, we only did SS's.
Yes, and this car, by the VIN, the way it was listed on IAA, this car is identified as a ZL1. It's not like it's a SS that just happens to have an LSA blower as opposed to the other, I guess like Magnuson style is what's on the actual burger cars, I guess. TVS, there we go.
Now, this was another big piece that was part of like Burger's kit, is they had the engraved SS center caps. Now, obviously, this car is not an SS, but that is one thing that Burger did, is instead of putting a Forge Line cap in it, they had those caps made to be SS.
And again, that is why this car is so very interesting, is that whoever did it, if it is indeed a true reproduction, which is what we believe, I don't really see any reason that Burger would have no information on this car and it was a real one. That just wouldn't make a whole lot of sense.
I just can't see someone faking a signature. Like, if you want to fake a Burger car, that's fine.
I mean,
I just can't see someone faking that signature.
I wonder if this person like tunes, outside of what they do for the dealership. Do you know enough about this person? Like, do they work for the dealership?
He's just the tuner for Burger. Since Burger does so many, so Burger does 20 to 25 cars a year. So there's between 10, 11, and 12. There's between 60 and 75 SS's that ever left as Burger cars. They're not all green. A fair portion of them is. Burger did a Z28 that started as black and they made it blue and did a couple bolt-ons to it. That was the only Z28 ever done, and they did one or two 1LEs that were special editions also. But they just don't have any recollection or any proof of doing a ZL1, and that's kind of where the fault of it is. Like I said, I think it's real. I don't know if they just don't have proof of it because they only did a few 13s. They don't have proof of any 13s. So maybe they just did a couple, maybe they did none, maybe it's fake, I don't know.
And that's why I'm suspect, is because they don't have any record of ever doing a ZL1 and don't have any record of doing a 13. So you got like two strikes against you at that point, where it does seem like, again, whoever did it, it's either a real one or whoever did it maybe even had like firsthand knowledge, because, you have to get to replicate that sticker. I mean, it's a sticker, so it's possible. It's not like it's like an engraved plaque or something. It's a sticker. It's definitely possible that you could go through and you could get somebody to print that sticker. But you have to have a really good image of one of the stickers in order for that to happen, because you have to be able to make it look exactly the same, which based on what we can see, that looks exactly the same. So, even down to like the color and stuff like that, if it's the wrong shade of red, it's going to look weird. And if you're going to this length to try to duplicate the car, you're going to make sure you do it as good as possible.
Because if the car was sold out of Burger originally, then it's very possible that they just did a couple things to it prior to sending it out the door for a customer. Like, this is all plastic. And, like, none of it's chipped up. Like, whoever painted this car
knew what they were doing.
So this cut line right here, I mean, that cut line is freaking on point.
Sharp. Any number of cars that come through that just have kind of interesting stories and things along those lines. This one is kind of on another level, though. And I think it's hilarious because, again, we didn't know what we were getting into when we bought this car. And it has kind of snowballed into really, really capturing our curiosity and trying to figure out whether this thing is a real deal or not. This car, I believe, is a replica, but somebody knew what they were doing when they were replicating one of these Burger SS Camaros. And unfortunately, whatever happened to it, it is has significant damage up in that front corner there, where it's just not going to be salvageable. So we are unfortunately going to have to take this thing apart. You can see the damage here, and send her off to the scrapyard. But we may do some little extra stuff. We may go ahead and like cut out some stuff, see if that maybe is an actual signature, because that's a little cool piece. That's somebody that is really a fan of these, these Burger cars, or even the older, Copo Camaros, since they have connections there. So this is going to be one though that is getting shredded, and we are going to go ahead and cut to it getting taken apart.
For the record here, I think it's real.
go ahead and do it for the Camaro here. It is completely picked clean. I have my little souvenir here that I'm going to hang on to just in case this thing actually does turn out to be real. We had a couple people chime in on Instagram that seem to have some firsthand experience, whether it's working for the dealer, ordering cars for the dealer, etc., etc. So we're still doing some digging onto this thing. Let us know down in the comments what you guys think. If you think that maybe it's a, really good fake by somebody that knew what they were doing, or it's definitely possible that it was done by the Burger dealership, just not as an actual numbered Burger edition car, and they just went through all the same steps, kind of did the same thing, even though it's not a documented car that's part of, I guess, like the collector type series. So let us know down in the comment section what you all think. We're going to go ahead and drag this thing off to the scrapyard. These convertibles, they don't really crush that well in the videos. You don't get the dramatic effect that you do with the coupes when the whole roof implodes. So we're not going to include that here in the video, but it is going to go off the scrap. And coming up here, we're going to have plenty more updates on some of the shop cars here. The ZR1, the RX-7 is back, so we're going to be giving an update on that, as well as some more shop content. We have a couple Camera Knot Challenge videos that we have lined up. Got a good group of GTOs, some real nice C5 vets coming through that are modded. So stay tuned for that. We appreciate everybody's support, and we'll see you in the next video.